Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number S771D. This is a 10-foot dark brown roll. This happens to be 10 foot. So 10 foot, I've got a bit of it removed from the package. Available in several different lengths. This is a 10-foot roll. In the dark brown T-shaped adhesive style gasketing that is going to be very commonly used between a pair of doors. For reasons of compliance with smoke control, draft control. You might install it because you have a fire-rated opening. This material complies. You might want to augment an existing installation's ability to attenuate sound, to retard the transmission of air, temperatures, that sort of thing. This material is very typical and commonly seen in pairs of doors. Available in clear, the dark brown, and white as well. Yeah, those are the finishes. This is a self-adhesive piece of material. It has a peel-away paper back here. I'm going to pull a little bit of it off. Sometime today. Here we go. An incredibly effective adhesive. Incredibly effective, very good quality adhesive on this Pemko material, and is silicone based. Self-adhesive back, used on virtually any pair of doors where you want some sound attenuation. Seals the opening to prevent heat loss, obviously. Retards the passage of smoke and acts as a weatherization product. Features excellent resistance to compression sets, meaning it won't fatigue. And very good at extreme temperatures, very low and very high temperatures, well beyond what normal use would be. Is a low closing force item, meaning that this material will compress down quite significantly. So if you have your typical 1/8 of an inch margin, this is going to prevent no obstacle to your door closer at closing the door should you have one, which allows you to maintain a low closing force, a barrier-free sort of handicap compliant closer. Easy installation, it requires no mechanical fasteners, and can be cut to size in the field, obviously. There is an image below this video showing the important dimensional properties. As you can see, it's 7/16 wide, and that uncompressed it's 9/32, so it's just heavy on a 1/4 inch. So what it's just heavy on. Okay. Very nice item. There is a link below this video to the installation instructions, and they are basically printed on the back side of your packaging. And let's go over them now. This material is amazingly easy to install. However, if you've not done it before, you might benefit from the fact that I have and have done it the hard way first. So that link to the installation instruction shows page 1, which is just a summary of the material that we've already gone over. And let's start with page 2. Storage and shelf life. This material is only supposed to be around for 6 months before installation. Don't order it unless you know you're going to use it within 6 months. The silicone's not going to fatigue, but that adhesive needs to be doing its job within 6 months. It needs to be stored at standard room temperature, sort of ratings. Are between 50 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Before installing, thoroughly clean the frame with the enclosed cleansing towelette to remove grease, dust, or cleanser buildup. Before installation, wait for the frame surface to completely dry or evaporate. Some hospital environments have a wax or antibacterial cleanser buildup on the material. You're going to need to remove that. As an alternative or substitute cleanser, use isopropyl or rubbing alcohol. Mineral spirits or other petroleum-based cleansing products are not to be used. They're going to destroy the finish on whatever you're applying it to, and likely the adhesive. Now, the statement that they made about use the enclosed cleansing towelette, it's so crucial that you have the frame or door utterly clean, that they include an alcohol pad. It's that important. Speaking from my experience, once you think you've got the frame clean, go back and do it again, or the door, go back and do it again. It's that crucial. If there's any dust or debris, anything between the adhesive and the surface it's adhering to, you'll have a point of failure. You'll come the next day and it will have fatigued. However, if you get it completely clean, this material, as demonstrated earlier, the ability of its adhesive to hold it on is superb. So any sort of fatigue or failure that you have in your installation is going to be a result of that. Application temperature, frame should be between 50 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. When to install. Installation should take place after the construction is completed. Flooring is installed, final cleaning is done. Paint on the frame must be cured for at least 5 to 7 days. Paint cannot be wet under the dry surface at all. Avoid quick dry primers which leave a powdery surface, preventing sufficient adhesion. When applying to a wood frame, the surface must be non-porous and sealed. Follow industry standard guidelines on sealed wood frames and or rough surface or roughing the surface before applying antibacterial, antifungal, or silicone additives in the paint may inhibit the adhesion. You're going to want to use a Scotch-Brite pad to give yourself some surface area, dust-free, debris-free. Now, the actual installation. Do not stretch the material. The product can retract or shrink if stretched. As you're applying this material, we'll get to it down below, so we're going to say it twice. They want 24 inch of this exposed. I think that's too much. You don't want to unintentionally bump this on the frame, and you don't want to have an excessive amount of adhesive exposed to a potentially dusty environment. So I like working with a shorter distance because I can line it up better. Firm pressure, no stretching, no pulling. Any sort of stretch that you've used or achieved when applying this, the material is going to find its natural elasticity and break the bond of that adhesive. Is what will likely happen. Press very firm, perpendicular pressure when applying. They say use a wallpaper seam roller to reinforce the adhesion after applying. They also say do not stretch the material when using the seam roller, and they say later on that it's strongly recommended that you use a seam roller. I've never used one. I have stretched the material in installation and found that it failed. So that's why I'm just the old-fashioned way, just lots of pressure for several dozen seconds, straight on. Double check the installation after 2 to 3 hours. Now, I'm not, again, a fan of rolling that on. I like to just push it on. But what's key in determining if you've made an error is measure and pre-cut the piece so that you're exactly correct, so that you know when you get to the end of the installation whether or not you've stretched the material. It's better to know that above or beforehand rather than to find out the next day. If the proper thing to do is to check your installation 2 or 3 hours later. If any separation has occurred, you can immediately reset it. You could certainly do so because it requires 24 hours for a full set, but after 1 hour, don't touch it. So that check the adhesion 2 to 3 hours, check the adhesion 45 minutes later would be a proper way to say that. And then reset if necessary. So pre-cut the material to length, 24 inch they want you to remove. I say work with a shorter distance. You don't want to unintentionally bump it on. That's your preference, how you like to position and work with the material. I've seen the material installed very poorly, very quickly, where it's just literally wavy on a door and nobody really notices, but the fact of the matter is, if it's slipshod during that part of installation, the frame's probably filthy as well, giving a very poor installation aspect from a long-term sort of perspective. Okay. Once installed, apply firm pressure along the entire surface of the product to ensure proper adhesion to the frame. Adhesion takes a delayed set. Be very careful doing it overhead. You're going to want to be sure to get that really pressed up. I like to push on there for at least 30 seconds before moving. Make sure that it's really secure. Anyway, below, at the bottom, I should say, the installation instructions are cross-sections of single-acting and double-acting doors showing you where to apply it. If it's a double-acting installation, you'll want it right in the center of the 2 doors. Okay. If it is a single-acting door, you'll want to have it on towards the push side, which would be the beveled side of the door as indicated there. That would be the proper way to go about installing this material. Okay. The name Pemko is synonymous with weather stripping products, and they have a comprehensive offering of self-adhesive material, not only T-shaped material, but of course the classic Pemko S88, the teardrop shape, which really is synonymous with adhesive gasketing for smoke and draft, fire control, things of that nature. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up their full line catalog and review the comprehensive offering of all things weather stripping from Pemko. And they are really a leader in terms of just diversity of product line in both commercial and residential weather stripping. They also manufacture a full line of continuous geared aluminum hinges and aluminum steel track and hangers for bypass, pocket, and bifold sorts of applications that you'll see in residential and commercial settings as well. If you have any questions on the Pemko S771D, T-shaped self-adhesive smoke and draft control gasketing, or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.